She's upstairs.
Well, hi, and what's going on this evening?
Well, tonight, this is the ADAPT Fest 2013, and right now this is the experimental portion of the festival. So we have many different performers, artists from many different places doing different performances. During the first half an hour, people are invited to come in and share in either doing life drawing. They get to actually draw. We have live models. They can also have one-on-one poetry read to them. We have a poet that really does an intimate poetry reading for individual people. We also have a musician at the very, very top floor who's doing private music songs to people, so they're welcome to go there as well. We also have sculptors all throughout the building. They've got their works of art, and we have an online app actually where people get to really communicate and get to know the sculptors and actually the sculpture itself and kind of have a relationship with that sculpture, and we're going to be doing something else with that later on in the night. So at 8 o'clock we're going to start our linear set where we have about 10 different performers. Those range from film. We also have film, music, we have spoken word, improv, dance, aerialists, and a lot of just different experiences for everyone to really kind of get into their heart space and feel and experience and really be taken by this whole experimental evening.
Where are we?
We are at Fishbone right now. We're at the Fishbone headquarters, so
In Santa Barbara, California.
yes, in Santa Barbara, California. So yeah, the ADAPT Fest has actually been in several different places. So it was on the East Coast in New York before it came to Santa Barbara, and then next it'll be going to Pasadena. So this is the experimental portion of Santa Barbara.
And who puts it on?
So this is put on by Misa and Stephen Kelly, and they're part of Art Bark.
Do you
And
need to get by? Okay. Yeah. Hi there. Do you need to get by?
I do need to
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you.
you want me to do that again? So they're part of Art Bark, and they do different performance art. A lot of it's dance, but they're really bringing in a lot of different creative elements and bringing artists from all over. So they're located here in Santa Barbara, although they travel all over.
Okay. And your name?
My name is Selena.
Any last things you'd like to say?
Selena Rockwell.
Okay. Anything else people should know about Art Bark and ADAPT Fest?
Just that this is a place to be playful and creative and open-hearted and to just be open to the experiences.
You're welcome to get by if you need to.
So I'll be right here, I guess.
So behind the scenes video here.
Okay.
Where were you?
I was way up top, but I was in my statues.
But you were what?
Also upstairs. You know, Hannah's there. How are we doing with people tonight?
Audience sit first, and then everybody else, sculptors, performers, go in afterward.
Actually, that's what
Their band.
Get answers from within, of course, and I have pencils and everything, and you can just write down the number of the sculpture and the question that you're answering if you want to participate in this part of it. And when we do our performance, this will be a part of that performance, okay? I'll be right at the door.
Signed in already or checked off? Checked off that you're here. If you have not signed in, I believe we're at capacity, and you're going to have to wait while those who have already signed in have gone in. Okay? So welcome. Welcome. And what is your name?
Larry.
Larry. Welcome, Larry. Come on up.
Thank you.
Just follow through.
Very good.
There you go.
Oh, welcome.
Whatever you like to share.
And I didn't hear what you said. What's the pen for?
There are questions on there to ask the sculptures and find within yourself the answer to the question from the sculpture, from visualizing the sculpture.
Thank you.
All right.
Your name is?
Rebecca Davis.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Thank you. Come on in. Thank you.
Oh yeah, and also, do you have a smartphone?
What number is that?
Oh, one.
What is the code called? Like, what is the app? I would guess.
QR reader.
Right.
So, is there a smartphone thing? What's going on?
Yes, part of it's a smartphone. Yeah, you get it's a QR reader. It's an app, and it scans this here, and then with this here, you either get you'll get a video or a picture of us as we're working making these sculptures. So yeah, so just before they're done.
And did you make this one here?
I didn't make this one, no. Mine's somewhere around here. Yeah.
And what else can you tell me about this event?
This event?
Yeah.
There's a variety of different performances that are pretty amazing. I'm pretty much involved with the sculptures, but like I say about the other stuff, it's pretty amazing stuff.
Thank you.
All right.
Don't you?
Okay.
All right, what do we got? One of them has it and one of them doesn't. I'm
So
not
what are
sure.
you up to here?
Oh, I'm a sculptress.
And
So one doesn't work?
No, they both work. But one of them has a video, has a talking part.
Write the number down.
are you?
Connection.
Answer one of these questions.
Okay. I think I've been here before.
Oh, you're the
I have to turn something on.
Okay, you turn it on and swipe it. I think this is the one you want to swipe.
Hopefully only the right amount, right? My pen doesn't work.
I hope it connected to something.
Now see if that's the
Get a
video.
network connection.
Not a network
That's the video?
connection.
These are Misa. Oh yeah. All these.
What are you up to here?
to work.
What are you up to here?
Well, we were in a sculpture class, and these are our sculptures. That's not mine exactly, but we're all standing by a sculpture, and we're hoping people will really look at them and make some comments about them, write them down, and later on we'll display them, and people will try to pick out which sculptor did which sculpture. And they're spread all over the place here.
Very nice.
So you can go around and you can scan to get clues.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
I used to be called a crybaby when I was a little kid, so. And then I lived in Vietnam, and I had a Vietnamese boyfriend, and you know how when people have English as a second language, they come up with kind of interesting ways to say things, and you can always say, "Oh, Valerie, you're easy to cry. You're easy to cry." And I'm like, that's kind of interesting. So I always kind of carried that around, and finally wrote a song with it. Should I play another?
That's a good way to listen to it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thanks. Song? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I'll play you a simple song. So I played a song called The Simple Things. And then he goes real seriously. He's like, oh, does it get more complicated from there? And I said, yeah, from there we go to geometry. And then I played the Love Triangle song. So. I don't think you got it, but I'm not sure. So I'll play Love Triangle. Out of this love triangle, the better shapes I could be in. How about a circle? Yeah, you know, it never stops giving. Ooh, and even a square would do. You know it's even. 2 by 2. you warm and hold me. You only give me a chance. Come on over to my house.
Well, there are what they call cells, Marxist or otherwise, no, but they're interest groups that meet here. So, what are you going to be doing?
I'm doing two of my own poems. The first one is called Twilight, and the second one is called Ham and Egos. But I've integrated them in with some music and as well as movement, and I call the whole piece Porch. So I've just made a little artful piece that expresses the two poems, but I'm moving with them. So there's some repetitive movement with the poem throughout. So it's like I'm dancing in the chair, and then I get up at one point and actually stand up in the space. But as you can see, I can almost touch the walls. So it's an interesting thing where I don't really fill the space, but I do some movement, and then the chair draws me back. And so the way the process of what I did is the poems were written years ago and memorized really years ago, and the choreography is set separately, and then I just overlaid one over the other and learned to do the movement while I said the words. So that's what's happening tonight. So I have a good time when I do it because I enjoy expressing my own poems because they're lyrical, they're my own words and my own experiences. So it's like mini monologues about my life.
Are you from Santa Barbara?
I'm not. I'm from Glendale. I live in Los Angeles.
How did you get involved with this, and how did other artists get involved?
You know what? I think they all know either Misha Kelly or Stephen Kelly. I met Misa through someone named Bonnie Lewis and her husband Ken, who live in Santa Barbara and are the theater group called Drama Dogs. So they introduced me to Misa. I saw her perform several times, once in Santa Barbara and once in LA. And she said there possibly was a need for a performer for this event. And I just said, sign me up. And then we started to work together. And
what was it like yesterday? You did this all last night, huh?
Yes. It was interesting because I was not aware of her process or the how it would actually turn out. It was described to us, but you never know when an audience comes through. There were a lot of people, and it was very nice to have them go from one act to the other and kind of warm up the space. And then when they came time to do mine, I really felt it was alive. And then we have an aerialist, and they're all quite different acts. So I think it was fun being part of it, and since there's no backstage area, you really are kind of melting into one. I didn't really watch anything until my piece was over. I felt like I needed to just be quiet, and then afterwards I could just go sit and enjoy the rest of the show. And then we're going to be doing all of the pieces at the same time. I'm going to move to another little stage over there and do it in a different setting with different music and see what happens, and maybe people joining me. Other dancers joining me. I've told them they're allowed to come and try and steal the rocking chair and disrupt my dance if they want. These are dancers who are dancing in this space. So
you're about to be dancing in that space?
In a little while. There's a lot that happens first.
What happens?
The life drawing is happening now, and then the audience goes downstairs and listens to a tabla player. And then they get led back upstairs in various, what's called linear time. Each person who's performing gets their little performing time, and the audience is directed where to shift their chairs and where to look and how to move space. And that happens for a while. And we're second or third in that lineup. And then after that section is completed, then it's open, structured playtime. All the performers and artists can intermingle with each other and improvise and see what happens, and the audience can rove around and join in or not join in, or it just becomes totally open for whatever wants to happen.
Projections behind my dance as well, which would be fun. I was told, in other words, something's happening over there, where you take something, you put, kind of like the layering that I did, where I took the poem, then I layered the movement over the poem. There'll be different images and a different setting, just putting me inside a different setting. So I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they've been doing drawing?
People talking about it.
Yeah, look at
She has someone.
I can't peek.
This is the poet.
I shouldn't peek in there, should I? Can I peek in there with the camera? Just a little peek? Yeah.
It's okay.
Wait till they change. She's almost ready.
Sorry.
Guru Ganesh to say was to the opera
Some people say tears. That you remove your shoes before walking on the black.
Okay.
If you want to keep your shoes on, you can walk along the side and sit in the back. Okay. So we'll be having a film, so the front of the show is right here.
It was taken by a friend. My father's peer, but yet a boy who knew me very well, and knew that my propriety would keep this secret very well. But now I tell, because I know this is a secret a million times told. The passing lights for crossing girls, not far removed from ancient tales. Detach the veil and you will see we all are broken in our stride, and guilt becomes our shoulder bird as we search and search for our lost time.
A kid, do you remember what things you liked?
I loved words when I was a kid, but I wasn't a poet. I was a reader of poetry, but I was more a wordologist when I was a kid. And I used to read vocabulary, even in my aunt's college books that were around the house. I would always study the vocabulary and learn to spell the words. I didn't always know what the words meant, but I always learned to spell them. And I always won all the spelling bees at my school. And I used to spell for the weekly prize of lunch tokens.
So the next portion of our evening will be in the room right over here, and I will direct you on where to sit.
And I'd like to ask the artists who've already seen the piece to sit back so that people who haven't seen the piece get to be situated. Would be really nice.
Thousands of voices going off in my head like light bulbs, but you cannot hear them.
I dream of you.
They're felt, not heard. And thus, of course, you acquire a megaphone or something like that. One with plastic bubbles on the outside. And fishing, anyone?
Thousands of light bulbs going off in my head. Thousands of voices you cannot hear unless
Lamp. Fishing anyone? Days gone by. Night done come. Mama gonna be mad at me now. I forgot to wipe that smirk off my face. Soap, Jenny. Eat soap. More soap, you bitch. Whack! Your own blood, your own hopes and dreams that you yourself chose to tidy bowl. Yes, swoosh, with the tampons and other disgusting things down the sewer, with the rats out to sea.
I ride on the red
On a boat, maybe. With 2 mice shooting crap with dye made out of sugar cubes. And then we'll sit and have that cup of tea brewed in that special pot, peacefully.
Our next performance will be over here.
I have 3 cats. One is named Blueberry, and he's fat and gray, and he's very fluffy and soft, kind of like a bunny rabbit. And his last name's Mulberry because my last name's Mulberry, so Blueberry Mulberry. And then the other one is named Pete. He's a tabby, but when he's about 9 months old, I found that he has a in his fur the shape of a heart. It's exactly like a heart, and so I call him Sweetheart Pete Heart in the song. And the third one is Ivan. He came with that name, kind of a silly name for a cat, but I happened to look on Craigslist in the pet section after I'd already gotten 2 kittens that year, and there he was, like, looking right back at me, cute little eyes. So I drove up to Pismo and picked him up. So here we go. It's called Kitten Poetry because kitty love is a big deal. Blueberry, mulberry, pudding in the pie. Blueberry, mulberry, apple of my eye. Big old belly that I'm gonna rub. Fuzzy, fatty, jelly at the top, oh yeah. Sweetheart, Peteheart, my kitten and cat. Sweetheart, Peteheart, your heart I am to find right there. In the middle of your chest, well on your back. You do the rest, oh yeah. I've been looking for you on the Craigslist ad, tried and true, there you were, looking back at me, a human soul in a kitty body, oh yeah. Rescue me, I'll rescue you, rescue me. I'll rescue you if there's only one thing I will ever do. If there's only one promise I will keep for you, I will take care of you.
The stage, you're going to be facing the stage for our next performance. And you're welcome to sit on the yellow anywhere in this room.
Porch. It's February, and the floor is still bumpy from pine needles and crumbs. It stares at me. I'm sick from the battle and drugged from nothing more than 1 cup of coffee this morning. It's over. The sun is down. And the lights have taken possession, issuing a biased statement on the condition of my house. The sunset has just hurried through the romance. It's that time of day. Ever stayed all day in one room and watched the lighting change like a well-lit movie set? The blinds are dirty too. It's like a cell. Only I guard it myself, seeing I stay in till some unnamed sentence is served, jealous of anything The air when you're ironing gets warmer and smells burned all day. Ironing, game shows, and the dishes. I can only really face them in the mornings when the air is still cool enough to seem fragrant and voices and footsteps chime. The light from the kitchen stirs the dark air. The phone startles the silence irrevocably. The voice reminds me how much I enjoy being ravaged with concern.
Thanks. Now it's time to gather the heads. Go gather the heads. Find your heads. The head hunt has begun. Sculptors, heads, sculptures are out there. So we're going to be gathering the heads and bringing them back to the main room.
So find a sculpture in blue that looks like an angel and choose one to follow. Let's see how good your memory is to find where the sculptures are. So everybody forgets this is the part where you get to stretch your legs. Don't be shy. See how good your memory is and find those sculptures, and then we'll bring them back here.
So you are?
I'm Misa, and I'm also here tonight as Dylan and Friends, the aspect of the self that loves to draw and to paint.
And how did it go last night? What do you think about
Oh, I tell you, last night was just magical. We've done this format once before, and I think doing it the second time around is a lot easier. We made progress with having more of an integrative experience for the spectators so that they also become creators. And we had a half-hour process that was really magical where people had the option to have one-on-one poetry or private song, or they could try their hand at life drawing, and the sculptures were installed with QR codes, and if you had your iPhone you could be taken to them talking about their sculptures. And then we flowed into, that's what we call overlapping time, and then now we're going into linear time where we're following the normal arc that you would in theater, but trying to create a sense that the artist is also the dancer, where their perspective is never the same. There might be an orientation north, south, east, and west, and at the close of the evening, my favorite part is all of the artists follow their hearts and they go somewhere in space, and all the performances happen at the same time without any pre-rehearsals, and it makes just for some magical chance encounters. And I'm so grateful for the space.
How did all these people come together? Did you choose them?
It was a process of, this is the third year of our international festival, and this time we did a combination of invitation, and then we also put out a global call for submissions. And we learned from the very first festival that sometimes artists can be temperamental, and we decided this time around we wanted not only people who are passionate about what they do, but people who are easy peasy and nice, and it's made a huge difference. Commented that at Center Stage Theater, that it's much easier when you work with people who are nice and get things to you in a timely fashion.
And what's your website?
www.artbark.org. Artbark. ARTBARK. I think that's it, yeah.
Good show.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my blueprint. And my pose. That was the pose for the whole process of making these heads.
Could you speak a little louder?
Sure.
Thank you.
My name is Rebecca Davis, and my sculpture class is right here, part of it. And these are the sculptors. These are their heads. And we are involved in adult ed and have been for a long time. And the process of creating these heads has shown us over the years, for me, the large part of what comes through the sculpture is the artists themselves. Especially when you're beginning in the process of finding yourself and finding your voice. A lot of that voice will come from your own psyche, from your own, the way you look, as much as the way the model looks. So we have our model right here, and the indicative hairstyle. And then we have the sculptors that are here. And one thing that I'd like for you to keep in mind when you're looking at the sculptors and you're looking at Isa, that there is a connection between one of these pieces and one of these people. And one of the things that we're doing tonight, we're giving away prizes to the people that can figure out who did which piece. Prizes! I knew that would spark interest. But I wondered if anyone has one of those sheets that we handed out, you know, at the beginning.
While you're collecting those, could I read this poem? One of
yeah.
our sculptors wrote this poem.
One of the sculptors that's not here tonight would like to be represented. Here we go.
I come from the earth, soil, minerals, and water. I was crafted by master hands. They brought me into being. I have energy, wisdom, and a keen eye. I listen with great intent, for your words and thoughts are my tomorrow, and your dreams my playground.
Anyone that had written anything about one of the sculptures, we do have a number up here. If you want to speak to that particular sculpture, that's fine. But if you want to share with us anything that you have, there are questions that were answered by your own interpretation of the sculptures.
And let us know which number, which head.
Yeah, if you do have a number for the head.
I have an answer for number 9.
Number 9?
What happened to my body? And I said it was still under the house.
All right, anyone else do one?
City College.
Yeah, Rebecca, you want to say something about your class, how to sign up? That'd be really nice, actually, if you would take time to do that.
Yeah, we have, everyone knows about Santa Barbara Adult Education, right? If you don't know about it,
abducted over 200,000 young girls between the ages of 11 and 16 from Korea, placing them in comfort stations all over Asia. Japanese soldiers would use these comfort stations where the girls were forced to be sex slaves. The Japanese government continues to deny this ever happened. This piece is telling the story of Sun Lee, a Korean comfort woman survivor. Of the evening, and what that means is that all of the artists are going to go to different spaces within the building.
They'll follow their heart, just like when you followed your heart here, and they're going to go where they feel drawn, and they're all going to do their performances at the same time, and it makes some really wonderful chance happenings. And then we'll flow out, and this concludes the performance of the portion of the ADAPT Festival. There's one event tomorrow at 5 o'clock at the Montecito School of Ballet. A riveting artist from LA who has studied with Meredith Monk is going to do a master class in vocal improvisations. So now you also follow your heart and find a place you want to be in the building, and everybody's going to do their performance at the same time. And then you just filter away and enjoy the rest of your life with great poetry.
The sun is down, and the lights have taken possession, issuing a biased statement on the condition of my house. The sunset has just hurried through the romance. It's that time of day. Ever stayed all day in one room and watched the lighting change like a well-lit movie set? The blinds are dirty too. It's like a cell. Only I guard it myself, seeing I stay in till some unnamed sentence is served. Jealous of anything. The air when you're ironing gets warmer and smells burned all day. That's what happens when you get space.
Warrior magician lover.